What is up, fight fans? I am Jason Burgos for Sherdog.com, and I am joined by a fighter who, in just 4 pro fights, will get a chance at history. That's because on Friday night at LFA 85, she will step into the cage as one part of the inaugural LFA Strawweight title fight. And on that night, I have no doubt she plans to go on a rampage against Vanessa Demopoulos, and that's because she is Sam Page, aka Sam Hughes. Madam Sam Page, thanks for the time tonight to talk this upcoming title opportunity.
Jason, I'm so excited. Thank you for the opportunity to talk with me.
It's a pleasure. Now, I have so many questions. It's impressive to get a title shot in any organization in just 4 pro fights, but to get that in LFA is meaningful because the organization often is a jumping off point to the UFC. It means a lot in the industry. But before we talk that opportunity, I want to talk your road into this line of work, because it takes a unique person to say, yes, I want to be punched in the face for a living. So what got you into MMA originally? Did you start in the martial arts as a kid? Were you a fan of the sport and now you're just living the dream? Maybe both, maybe something else.
Yeah, so, I'm actually from South Carolina originally, and I ran track and cross country in high school and college. But I've grown up like with brothers that were always beating on me. I'm the youngest girl. So I'm actually the youngest of all 4 of us. So I was always getting beat on, picked on, and my older brothers were playing football, baseball, and so I was just trying to keep up. And I was in soccer, softball, track and field, obviously. So I was always athletic. And then pretty much once I got to college and then graduated, I decided to move out to Seattle. And I met a buddy of mine that said he wanted to take me to his MMA gym and just try it out. So, because I was just in the routine of working out at a Globo gym and running and lifting weights and stuff. And once I actually stepped in Catalyst, I fell in love. I was like, sold. I'm done with that. I just want to do this full time. So that's kind of what got me in there, and I've been in Catalyst ever since.
When you get the news the promotion wanted you to compete in this title fight, but at strawweight, what were your first thoughts? And this is notable history because LFA, like I mentioned, important promotion in the industry, building in so many stars and stuff like that. How meaningful also is it to be a part of something like this, a historical kind of thing in the sport of MMA?
Gosh, it's honestly such an honor just to be affiliated with LFA. I mean, Holly Holm, Henry Cejudo, like all the greats come from LFA. So just to be a part of this and then fight for the title, it means so much. But that was basically my coach and I's game plan was to cut down to strawweight and compete, because I'm not interested at fighting in flyweight. I will, yes, but we also struggled a lot for the first 4 fights to get a fight at strawweight. So we just fought up. That was, it's what happened, kind of. That was never the game plan, but we wanted to stay busy. We wanted to stay active. And that was kind of the goal. But originally we told LFA that we're strawweight. And I think once I had the fight with Lisa Malden, that kind of settled everything. And they're like, all right, we want to see what she can do at strawweight.
Mm-hmm. So that's interesting, because that's where I was going to go next in terms of, making the cut. 10 pounds is notable, but that's interesting. That's really where you want to be. So explain to people, because they may be thinking the same thing. Oh, I saw her flyweight all these other fights, and now she's in strawweight. Why is it? Because you see so many fighters, they will cut down, and it's not optimal for them. Going up often is. But explain to people why fighting at strawweight really is an optimal weight for you, more so than flyweight. And are there any adjustments you do have to make in terms of diet and working out, or maybe not really?
Yeah, it's funny. I actually feel quicker, just stronger all around, just a better athlete at the strawweight division. Flyweight, it's not that difficult for me to cut, but I feel like this weight cut for me to 115 has been my strongest. It's been my most flawless. Like everything is like going so perfectly that I cannot wait to perform on Friday, because everything has just gone so flawlessly. So cutting down to 115, yeah, it is tough, but it's my most optimal performance weight. So I'm really excited to perform and show everybody kind of what I'm capable of.
Now, on the flip side, I think Vanessa has competed in strawweight for much of her run in LFA. She seems like a natural strawweight. However, as a competitor often competing at a weight class up, the belief is maybe that that person will be bigger or stronger. Do you feel that there will be any strength differences for you? I mean, having fought so many flyweights for a while, being at that weight, do you feel, if you do have a strength advantage, will that be helpful in dealing with her grappling and stuff like that? What are your thoughts on it? Do you feel, do you think you'll feel stronger in that fight?
Yeah, stronger, maybe not the word. I mean, I feel like I am a very strong strawweight. However, I think the reach advantage for me is huge. Because most of the girls that I fought at flyweight, they were like 5'6", 5'8", even. So they had the length advantage on me. And now I feel like at 5'5", coming into strawweight, now I have that advantage. I'm also faster. I do feel like I'm stronger as well. So I think just all around, putting it together as like a three-dimensional fighter, I'm just going to be even better, and just the fans are going to be so excited for me to fight at strawweight.
How do you make that work for you? Because again, you're still so early in your career. I know you've had an extensive run in amateurs, but you're still early in the pro career. How do you make length work for you? Like, things like a jab or things, that works for length, but it's not easy. If it was easy to just drop a jab, everybody in MMA will be doing it. Like, what do you feel you've been working on to finally make reach and these kind of things play for you against Vanessa that maybe weren't able to do against other flyweights?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. My coach and I have worked really extensively on being creative in the creativity part of like putting all aspects of our game together. So I know Vanessa really wants this fight to go down to the ground, which I'm okay with. That sounds great to me. But as far as like striking, I consider myself a lot like Rose Namajunas, where I'm constantly on the jab, striking and things like that. But I can easily take it down to the ground, and my wrestling has improved dramatically. I have got phenomenal training partners that are great wrestlers, and so I'm excited to showcase that as well.
Now, everybody will, her credentials in jiu-jitsu will be a major thing in marketing her, promotion, stuff like that, her championships that she's won. What do you see? You were actually on the same card with her in LFA 81. Now you've been able to scout her for this fight extensively. Is she as good as advertised? Do you feel, I need to be very careful with her? Or like you mentioned, all the work you've been doing in wrestling and those kind of things. Do you feel like really confident and you are just as viable an option to win on the ground as she is?
Yeah, I think a healthy amount of respect going into this fight is always good, right?
Yeah.
So for me to respect her ground game, her jiu-jitsu, I think is super important. But also to put that pressure on her and let her know that, hey, I'm coming to take this belt from you. I think just that pressure and everything else, I think it's going to all come together.
Now, for someone still so young in their career, and also for the same thing for Vanessa, when I've talked to fighters, it's often like, they're not directly scouting their opponent, because at this point, people evolve and they take leaps forward so often, so much between fights, that it's more about making sure you do what you have to do right. But that said, do you feel you bring something to the table that maybe she hasn't encountered yet, that she hasn't been challenged by? I actually just posed the question to her a few minutes ago, and she felt it was your tenacity. Do you agree with that, or do you feel you bring something completely different that she isn't aware of, but she's going to have a bunch of trouble dealing with on Friday night?
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoy like the grittiness of fighting and dragging people into really deep water and seeing what they're all about. So I intend on doing that with her. I intend on dragging her into deep water, and if it goes to the third or fourth, I'm so excited about that. I have the cardio for that. I have the wherewithal to know and put the pressure on her. So I think that's kind of what I bring to the table, and I don't think she's really I don't think she's had that before.
Serious followers of the sport understand that getting to the top in LFA means very likely getting to the UFC very quickly. How do you view things for this title fight? Do you look at this fight and winning the title as, boom, this is the golden ticket, I'm going to be in the UFC within this year? Or do you maybe not want to jump to the UFC just yet, and you view being the LFA champion, which is a prestigious title, defending that title is the perfect kind of seasoning to catapult you to a UFC 2021 kind of run?
Yeah, I really think that being 5-0 is a great resume to catapult me into the UFC. But if LFA wants me to defend the title a couple times, I'm okay with that. If I go in, if it takes me to like 7-0 to get into the UFC, totally okay with that. I'm just up for the journey, and I'm taking it one fight at a time and ready to do this on Friday night. And that's really what I'm focused on. So I know that this road is kind of that's kind of where it's leading.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about that, but I can't put the horse before the buggy. So,
Very true.
Yeah, I just want to perform super well on Friday night and get the job done. And then we can kind of worry about what happens after that.
Now, I was told that you got your nickname of Sampage from a little warrior in Barb Honchak. I have always loved Rampage as a nickname, and so Sampage is awesome. You know, and also I saw the Hulk Hogan themed Sampage shirt. Love it. I would rock that shirt. It's awesome. You know, but talk to me about the origins of Sampage. Like, how did you specifically? Was there a moment like, oh my God, you kicked me in the head? You're like Sampage. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, so that's basically what happened when Barb came in. When Barb came in, I was just an amateur and just trying to fight my way through. I was known as being super tough in the gym, really hard sparring rounds and things like that. And then whenever Barb came in, she taught me a lot of the more technical kind of wrestling things. And she basically called me Sampage. And then coach has always kind of called me that. So they just kind of ran with it. The snowball kind of kept forming, and that's kind of what happened. But yeah, I love Rampage as a nickname. And then Sampage, we kind of ran with it in a fight in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Okay.
But people were so confused. I was confused by how confused other people were. That they were like, "Is Paige your middle name?" And we're like, "No, it's Sampage. Like, you guys don't get it." So then we kind of scrapped it, and we're like, "Are people not understanding this?" But I think it was maybe just that little niche that we were at. So, but yeah, I'm happy that everybody is kind of accepting and kind of running with Sampage. It's awesome, and I love the t-shirts. They're fantastic.